My girlfriend tormented me for years, and as I was planning to leave her, she used my credit card to buy herself an engagement ring. Now, I'm taking everything I own and letting her go crazy. I've been with Nicole for a couple of years now, and she's always liked survival stuff, weaponry, and all that. I don't. My mother and my dog were unalived by a mugger using a knife, and Nicole knows about them. I didn't know Nicole liked knives at first. We started dating and eventually went on a camping and hiking trip, where she used a knife to split some kindling and pointed it toward herself. I remember telling her to watch out, and she had me relax because she always did it. She asked me if I wanted to do it myself, and I admitted I didn't like knives. Later in the trip, we drank by the fire and talked, and that's when I told her about my trauma. She promised to protect me, and I remember that exactly because I had the mental image of her fending off a mugger, and I joked that she was my hero. After the camping trip, I don't know if it was always there, and I noticed it more after or what, but she started to be more obviously into knives. She was practicing tricks in front of me, showing videos to me, and starting a collection. She even asked for a knife for her birthday that year, showing me exactly which one she wanted. She started doing the tricks more often before me, even sitting next to me on the couch or at the dinner table. She would gesture with the knife without thinking and even point it at me. She started sending me videos of news clips of other break-ins or news reports of robberies ending in murder, between a bunch of other funny videos or pictures. So checking Snapchat became a game of Russian roulette. If I didn't check the links sent through text, she'd keep sending them and ask what I thought. She'd forget she had the knife in hand when she came up to me, sometimes from behind. My nightmares came back. My anxiety got worse. No matter how often I reminded her to please stop playing with the knife in front of me, or at least not next to me, she would always forget after a little bit. Some part of me refuses to believe there's no way she risked bodily harm just to unnerve me. 2 days ago, she was playing with it again, and I asked her why she kept forgetting, and she said, "Wow, okay, don't insult my intelligence again," and then that it was just a knife and therefore not a big deal and thus not that important to remember. After that, she put away the knife, and we continued to have an okay night, but I was on edge and jumpy whenever she touched me. Yesterday, she called me into the kitchen. She was playing a 5-finger fillet, and I startled her, so she messed up badly. I lost my cool. I screamed my head off and tried shouting what I knew about first aid at her while I raced to grab my phone, in complete panic, dialing 911, only for her to start laughing and show me that it was a prank involving red food dye and a carrot. She laughed about how I would have known it was a joke if I wasn't so squeamish about knives, that it's proof I need to get more comfortable, that anyone with passing knowledge knows that it doesn't look like that when something like that happens. She kept explaining how she did it, how she practiced, and how she could show me, but I didn't even answer her. My head was underwater, and my heart was beating out of my chest. I just moved on autopilot, grabbed my keys, and drove a few blocks away before pulling over to breathe. Nicole tried to call me, and the first thing I said was, "It wasn't funny at all," and she asked, "Are you crying?" Then I hung up on her. She kept texting me, saying she was sorry, didn't think I'd react so badly to a joke, and that it was meant to be good fun in the Halloween spirit. I ignored her. I texted her after that I was home but ignored everything else. Update: I reached out to Nicole again yesterday to talk, and I stood my ground and explained things so she could understand my side. She greeted me with, "Thanks for gracing me with your presence," and asked if I was here to act my age and talk like an adult. Considering the situation, Nicole admitted that my reaction was unreasonable and completely out of line. I said that things needed to change because the prank wasn't okay at all, and she knows I have issues with knife violence. I asked, what was funny about the prank? She interrupted and said that ultimatums aren't part of any relationship. So I said, I don't think this is working out for us. I don't think we're happy together. Nicole froze initially, and I explained that the knife thing and our different stances were unfair to either of us. But she repeatedly asked, so you're going to break up nearly 3 years just because of this? I tried to tell her it was more than just this. It was everything else. She kept forgetting and telling me she loved playing with them, but it upset me. Still, she started talking over me and yelling that I thought she was an idiot and that I was the best actor in the world because she never knew I felt so horrible and that maybe I should call the cops on her for abuse. She grabbed her cell phone and offered it to me again and again, saying, "Go on call." But when I said we just needed to talk, she interrupted with, "No, you won't because you know, I know, we both know, no cop is going to arrest me for a joke." Also, after throwing her phone on the couch next to me, she stormed into the kitchen, shouting that she should get rid of all her knives because I was so terrified. She threw a few into the sink and the whole block of knives into the trash, asking, "What about this one? Too sharp? Too scary?" When I flinched at the noises, she said, "Oh, do you feel threatened? How do you feel when I defend myself against your feelings?" Nicole told me to quit crying and that I couldn't use tears to manipulate her. She mocked me when I said, "Please stop." She said she has to walk on eggshells because she has to deal with a boyfriend who can't handle a single joke without running off into the night. It's not hard to not overreact. Just think before you go crazy. It's that simple. And it's ridiculous that a grown man can't handle a knife or a gun. I refuse to let go of my victimhood because anyone normal would have gotten over it by now. It's been nearly 9 years. She called me stubborn and childish for picking this hill to die on that I'm not innocent. It's not fair that I'm allowed to ignore her for hours, but she can't have a little fun? And is my ego really that big? It's sickening that I don't trust her or think she's smart or skilled enough to handle a knife properly. And it's sexist, infantilizing, and insulting. At some point, I said I thought I needed to go home, and it was like a switch, and she said, "Please stop crying, I hate when you cry." Joked, "I guess hibachi dates are off the table, huh? And I should probably take the knives out of the trash now?" Shouldn't I? She apologized and said that she'd put in more effort since it meant so much to me. She admitted that I'm such a sensitive guy that if she stopped doing everything that made me uncomfortable, she wouldn't be able to do anything. She pointed out that I cried watching my girl the other day as proof that I was overly emotional, and it made sense that she thought I was just being my normal self. However, she was sorry for not realizing it was upsetting me sooner. She promised to do her best not to bring the knives out when I'm around. Nicole hugged me and told me to let go. We can get through this, there's nothing we can't get over, and asked for a chance to start over, fresh start tomorrow, no more jokes. It's stupid, but I just said yes. I wanted to go home, get out of her house, and leave while she was still acting nice, and I didn't hold my ground. I feel like an idiot and a coward. I got home and puked and couldn't get to sleep again. Today, Nicole came and dropped off lunch and coffee for me, kissed me, and said she loved me, and all the old ladies in the office were gushing about how cute we were together. I will reach out to one of the guys I'm closer to and the friend who set us up to find out when Nicole got so into knives. I will officially break up with her tomorrow with one of the guys if possible to get my stuff from her place.